2nd. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight we talk a bit about April Fool's Day on the internet.
Let's do this.
Now, yesterday being April Fool's Day, we had a plan for today that we'd made up about, a long time ago when we were first trolling for logos for the show. And our dear friend Kat made a really cool Geeknights logo, and then as a joke, because it fit, she made a Leaknights logo, because back then, that leak spin thing was all over the internet.
Yep, leak spin was real popular. We talked about it for like 3 or 4 days on this show, maybe even 2 weeks. And it was all over the forums. Everyone couldn't stop posting different variations on leaks and leak spinning. And we even took a picture of Rim in the grocery store holding a leak. So she made this Leaknights logo. And then Rim said, hey, we should do an actual show of Leaknights.
And the few people I told this to thought it was an awesome idea. And Scott said, and left it at that.
I wasn't particularly for or against this idea.
So anyway, my idea was that on April Fools, what we should do is, especially if it was a Monday, a science and tech kind of day, we do the show straight up, like a normal show. We have 2 newses or 2 things of the day, we do the main bit, but the newses both have to involve leaks, and the things of the day are both leaks. And then the main article was all about leaks. We do our normal episode, except we do well-researched, real news and thing of the day, as entertaining as we always are, about leaks. And we very subtly say Leak Nights instead of Geek Nights. I thought that would have been a great April Fool's. Definitely better than what Slashdot's done for the last decade.
Oh, it would definitely have been better than what Slashdot has done ever. It would have been better than pretty much what any website has ever done.
And,
it's not good enough.
Well, see, I ask you, the listeners, would it have been funny if we had done that, and we'd done it straight up, with the same level of entertaining and quality and everything we always have, as opposed to, when earlier today, while we're having some Japanese food at the Neko, Scott says, I don't like that idea. Let's not do it.
I never really did like that idea that much.
Yeah, you didn't come up with any alternative. Other than what you did want to do is Scott
You seem to have this thing where if I don't like something, I have to have an alternative. Otherwise, it's no good. It's like if an ugly person comes up and I say, wow, you're ugly, you're like, well, who's good looking then? And if I can't name anyone good looking, then that person's not ugly somehow?
Well, it has to do with the show more, because think of this. We've got to do the show on something. We need a topic. Every night, 4 nights a week for the rest of our lives, we need a topic to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And say we've got a topic that we've decided on. Maybe it's a crab people idea. I don't know, but we got an idea. If you're going to veto that idea, then you better come up with something else to replace it, because otherwise we got to default to the last best idea we had.
Well, I wanted to do a compromise. No, I want to do it. Well, I want to do that too.
Yes.
I wanted to do a compromise where we would have the leak news and things of the day and call it, Leak Nights. But then the main bit I didn't think should have been a leak bit because that would have run out dry real fast.
I don't think it would have. I think I could have been entertaining for a half hour about leaks.
What was I going to say about leaks?
I think you could have been entertaining for 15 minutes of that half hour.
I don't know about that.
I think so. I think it would have been a challenge.
I got nothing to say about leaks.
Maybe that'll be a contest sometime in the future, because I'm still disappointed in you guys over the Wednesday contest, though I've been listening to some of those submissions from the Thursday contest, and you might have all redeemed yourselves. You found some pretty goddamn bad podcasts.
I didn't think there were podcasts that bad, but oh God.
I knew there were podcasts that bad.
Rim was playing them in iTunes on the TV, and I was just like, turn it off.
Here's the thing. I knew there were podcasts that bad. I didn't know there were podcasts that bad where the people didn't stop after a couple of episodes.
Good God.
I mean, one of them, every episode is like 2 hours long. One of them was 3 hours long. And,
I was going to cry. It's good, though, because, it used to be if you wanted to torture someone, you tie him into a chair and make him watch Barney or something like that. Barney the big purple dinosaur. Now, it's real easy. You just get some of these podcasts, put headphones on someone, and put them in, like, a bed, and then they have to listen to it.
Well, you could always, we were talking about the leak spin, not to be confused with the meat spin.
Oh, God, meat spin. Oh, God.
But yeah, instead, we argued a bit with Alex there, pretty much just watching amusedly. What are we going to do April Fool's Day on? And we realized that there's really only one way to come out on top on April Fool's Day. Now, one, you can have the awesome prank which usually will backfire because, one, if you do an April Fool's prank, that's different from an April Fool's fool. A prank is like, I put a water bucket over Scott's door on April 1st.
I love those. Those are great.
Or
the
actually,
problem is, I've tried that a couple times in my life, and it worked, but the bucket always lands on the person and it hurts, and I only want the water to land on them.
That's why you got to use a little plastic bucket, because a little bit of water goes a long way. Say you're dressed up in business clothes, ready to go to work. If someone gets you with a super soaker, good, or gets you with a bucket, or gets you with 10 buckets, the end feeling you have is the same.
True. Did you see that video of in slow motion of a water balloon hitting a guy straight in the forehead?
Yes, I did,
It was awesome.
There was a kid at my high school who took a water balloon to the face and ended up almost losing his eye.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I took sand to the eye once.
Granted, that water balloon was thrown from a car going about 45. And the person who did it went to jail. Yes. But actually, I heard I've seen some good April Fool's pranks in my life, and sadly, most of the best ones were done on TV and staged. But anyway, someone on FARC had the best goddamn idea. And apparently he did this over the course of like 5 years. You know those jars of peanuts or whatever with the obvious fake label on them, but when you open the top, oh god, snakes pop out and everyone has a good
They're
laugh.
not even snakes. They're just like springs with piece of plastic wrapped around them.
So this guy on FARC, when everyone else is bitching about April Fool's Day, apparently he took one of these with the fake label on it, but he took the snakes out and he filled it with peanuts. And he gives it to his friend. His friend's looking at it like, this is the fake freaking snakes. And he turns it upside down so the snakes don't hit him, and he opens it and the peanuts fall out. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I gave you those peanuts. So
this is the great, I just gotta say that this story, I don't know what it is about this story, but as soon as you start telling someone the story, it's obvious what's gonna happen. The whole story is immediately obvious as soon as the person's telling the story says, can of snakes. Right? Yet it's still hilarious just to hear the story. I don't know why.
Well, the thing is, the guy was smart, and he did it like every year for 3 or 4 years. And every year the people think, hey, he's going to get me. He's going to get me. And they'd always turn it over and turn it upside down. One year he gives it to the guy. Guy opens it up. Snakes. It's just perfect.
Snakes. Snakes on a plane.
But since we didn't actually get to do our April Fool's extravaganza, which, in retrospect, I think I really miss being at RIT, mostly for the fact that at the RIT Anime Club, we ran some motherfucking pranks back in our day.
Oh, those April Fool's Day then was
I remember
good.
We sat there, you, me, and James, for like 4 hours preparing the next day's fool.
We did. It was the greatest fool, I think, ever. And we discovered who was fools and who was not.
Basically, we discovered that of the 200 or so people who were there for that showing, maybe 12 of them had an IQ above 70.
Either that or they really like track and ball in Lincoln Park.
But then we realized that, all right, we can either try to do some half-assed April Fool's prank, or maybe we can do that, oh, we're webcomics and we're all gonna draw each other's comics and won't it be delightful? Or
just like the newspaper comics do.
Or, oh, we're Slashdot. We're gonna have every single story be lame for the entire day. But then, what could we do to stand out from the crowd, to be different and better than everyone else on the internet? The answer is to not only shun April Fool's Day and not actually do anything for it, but two, to take a more intellectual standpoint and make fun of all the people who buy into this BS.
Yep.
Even though my sad reality is that I love April Fool's Day, and every year of my life where April Fool's Day fell on a Saturday or Sunday, I was really sad that year because I wanted to be at school or at work to do whatever I was going to do that day.
The thing is, my past 2 April Fool's Days, right? It would be April Fool's when I had a new job. Or April Fool's and I was working in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, your first day on the job, whoopee cushion under the CEO's chair.
Yeah, it's like at my work now. I mean, let's say I was at work today on April Fool's Day. I couldn't really. I don't know if I'd be comfortable pulling a prank on people I've only been at work with for a few weeks. You know, I'd have to next year, almost definitely. I think I might be comfortable pranking some people, but not now.
See, the pranks at IBM usually just involved filling someone's office with various items so they couldn't get into it. Or one time, we replaced a guy's monitor cable with a busted monitor cable. So it worked, but only yellow came through.
Yeah, you gotta replace like computer mice with ball mice. Take
or
the ball out.
There's always the obvious thing. Like we'd take an Ethernet cable, cut off the end, stick an antenna on it, and stick it in a guy's computer and say, yeah, we finally got you that wireless upgrade you've been asking for.
Take a screenshot of someone's desktop, make it their wallpaper, and delete all their icons.
That's so beautiful, except it doesn't work on Rimchan, who types window key R or alt space and then gets to work.
Yep.
Actually, though, someone did that to a guy at my work at IBM back in the day. And the guy was really old, and he's smart, but doesn't know about computers. And he didn't know how to deal with that at all. And he was
There's actually a program you can download now where you just run it and it does it.
Wow.
You don't need to go through the effort anymore of actually knowing how to take a screenshot or saving it and setting it as wallpaper or anything.
Wow, now couple that with some sort of time-dependent logic bomb, and you could hold a large organization hostage.
Probably.
Anyway, in the news, I have no segue at all for that. You might remember ICANN. They, as far as you are all concerned, regulate DNS names on the internet.
It's the International
Consortium of assholes and
names and numbers.
Yeah, I don't remember. International. It doesn't matter.
Assign names and numbers.
Yes, assign names and numbers. Something like that.
I forget.
We're awesome. It's kind of like when you interviewed for Google, and we know a lot about computers, but if you ask us something that we would have learned in school in a textbook, we don't know. I don't remember I don't know.
It's the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers.
Outstanding. Anyway, every now and then, a bunch of people decide that we should have a .xxx domain. And it's always two groups of people. It's always the crazy, radical, fundamentalist religious types who want to segregate all the porn on the internet into one place so they can easily block it. And on the other side, you have all the porn people who want a porn domain so they can have porn domain names.
Yeah, now, keep in mind, the porn people, the difference here is that they want an XXX so that it's real easy for people to find porn. But they have no intention of giving up their existing .com porn addresses. They're going to keep those too. The Christians, of course, want it to make it somehow illegal for porn to be in .com, net, org, or anything else.
Yeah, they seem to have this fantasy that if we make a .xxx domain, we can force everything objectionable on the internet to be there and not accessible any other way. That way, all the net nanny and net whatevers can block the .xxx.
You won't even need a software. It'll just work. Just be like a click, check, no XXXs.
I don't think I need to explain why that is an absolutely ludicrous, crazy, stupid, pathetic, horrible idea that only a moron could dream of.
Not only morally and legally and constitutionally, but also technologically.
Yes, technologically impossible. Never mind the fact that it... Anyway, the ICANN, for all their problems, are very smart, and they have yet again rejected this idea.
That is good, I guess, in a way. You see, on the one hand, I would like for there to be a lot more top-level domains, each handled by more people, because really, we could use some more things besides com, net, org, biz, us, etc.
See, I don't know. I disagree a little bit, because right now, the way the internet is, right? We had com, edu, gov, int, org, all those things. When biz was made, you pretty much know, if you go to a website that ends in .biz, that it's either something really shady or a company that doesn't know anything about the internet.
Yep.
So pretty much top-level domains don't gain acceptance at all among anyone.
That's true, but I think there could be a few awesome ones. Plus, someone can make a lot of money selling them to people. For example, let's say you let Google have .goog, or you let Wikipedia have .wiki, or something like that. You could really milk them for some cash, and they would love it.
Well, the other problem is having more top-level domains really defeats the purpose of why DNS is the way it is and why it works so well.
It does. It does.
In fact, all the people, really, you shouldn't even be using something.com. It should be something.something.something.something.com, and it should be segregated based on content and location and all this stuff. And it was that way for a short time, and then people who didn't know or care about the way DNS was supposed to be used.
Do we do a DNS episode?
I don't know if we did a DNS episode or not.
We're doing it next week.
We're doing a DNS episode as soon as it's convenient, and if we already did one, then we're not, because we already did one.
Yep.
Unless maybe we could do one, if we did the history, do the technical side. If we did the technical side, do the history.
I'm pretty sure we haven't done one, so we're doing it.
Yeah. Regardless, it's a bad idea. I can't agree. Well, at least 9 people at I can't agree. 5 voted for it.
Ah, good. All right, so we were at the grocery store the other day, and, remember we told you the story about how we found the koalas at the grocery store?
Yep, the grocery store seemed to be realigning all of its content, so we found a bunch of little gems.
Yes. Well, there is one section in the grocery store that has sort of weird things. They have British candy. They have, it's next to the Goya stuff. It's all sorts of weird beverages and things that very few people want. Very niche products.
Granted, I like a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And they had a beverage called Ribena. Ribena. Ribena blackcurrant. Blackcurrant is one word.
Yes.
And basically what it is blackcurrant juice. Now, blackcurrant is sort of like, it's like a berry raisin kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a long and cool history about blackcurrants, and for various reasons, they weren't allowed to be grown in the U.S. for a long time.
Yes, the blackcurrants were illegal to grow in the U.S. because they were responsible for spreading this tree disease that would have damaged the lumber industry, and the lumber industry was more important than the blackcurrant industry. But eventually, the law was returned to state jurisdiction, and a lot of states in the Northeast, like New York and such, have re-allowed blackcurrant growing.
Now, of course, this is in America. For all of you British listeners, I'm sure you're well aware of blackcurrants because they became very popular there, apparently, during World War II when it was difficult to get oranges into the islands.
Yes, also they use blackcurrants to flavor Vodak in Russia a lot. And the name blackcurrant actually comes from, it's like raisin of Corinth, because, Corinth in Greece. Yeah, that's what blackcurrants are.
Outstanding.
Yes. Anyway, this beverage Ribena is made of blackcurrant juice. And the company that makes it is like a subsidiary of GlaxoSmithKline, which is that pharmaceutical company,
Now, I had never heard of this drink or anything about it until there was all that news on Fark a while ago.
Me either. I hadn't heard of Ribena, blackcurrants, or anything. I'd heard of GlaxoSmithKline, but that's it.
See, I knew about blackcurrants because there's blackcurrant.
I've heard of currants.
There's blackcurrant in a lot of the wines I like.
Anyway, some girls in New Zealand were doing a science fair project. And their science fair project was pretty much, hey, let's test a bunch of different drinks for vitamin C. So they went to the grocery store and they said, oh, here's some orange juice, here's some apple juice, here's some water, here's some soda, here's some... Oh, this blackcurrant juice says on it that it has a whole lot of vitamin C. A lot.
In fact, in some areas, it looks like they market it as made with blackcurrants, which contain X% more vitamin C than oranges.
Blackcurrants do contain a lot of fucking vitamin C.
Too bad they weren't putting those blackcurrants in the drink.
Well, they were putting blackcurrants in the drink. The problem is the vitamin C wasn't making it into the drink.
Yeah, what they were doing is they'd put like 4 or 5% blackcurrant juice in the drink. And then the rest of it was processed concentrate. And a byproduct of the processing was that it destroyed or removed just about all of the vitamin C.
Yeah, so these two girls in New Zealand doing a completely innocent science fair project didn't detect any vitamin C in the supposedly high vitamin C Ribena. So they said something to the company, and they said, hey, there's no vitamin C in this drink.
Now, this was years ago.
Yep.
And the company said, what are you going to do about it? Yeah.
So they went to a TV station, and now there's news about these girls everywhere. And it just shows you that companies lie, and science is real.
Just recently, the company pleaded guilty to all 15 charges that were filed against them, and they were fined like 200,000 New Zealand dollars so far.
Well, I saw Ribena in the store the other day, and it did make many claims about vitamin C that are apparently not true.
Ooh, even better. Apparently, they have been forced to purchase a great number of full-page and half-page advertisements in popular newspapers apologizing for what they did and explaining what was wrong.
They should be forced to put things on the internet forever and such, and not useless newspapers.
I don't think
no one's looking at.
I don't think the word internet and the word forever can ever coexist.
Also, TV commercials might be good. Perhaps YouTube's anything. Just newspapers alone isn't good enough these days because only old people will find out about it.
But the thing is, all the people who aren't old found out about it already on the internet. The only people who aren't going to know about this are the middle gap. The gap between the old people who don't know about the internet and us. And frankly, those people don't matter in the grand scheme of things anymore.
Well, if you want vitamin C, don't drink Ribena. But if you like black currants, Ribena might still be good for you if you want to drink that.
Well, I really like black currants, and I would say just in terms of promoting honesty in corporations, I really like black currants, and I like blackcurrant juice. I would never buy Ribena. I'll buy some other blackcurrant juice, and it looks like blackcurrants are on the upswing, so there are probably going to be a lot of competitors in the near future.
Alrighty.
Especially since pomegranate juice is starting to take off more and more. And it used to be you could just get those little palm things. I like them, but they were expensive. I just bought a giant jug of pomegranate juice for very little money.
The thing that upsets me, though, is, while pomegranate juice is on the up, actual pomegranates are not.
I don't think it's so easy to get them in the best of quality to the United States.
I think that is correct. But when I went to Israel, I ate a pomegranate, and it's sort of weird because you open it, and it's all brainy and slimy and
I was
wormy.
about to say, it's like eating a brain.
It is, but it's damn good. If I could buy pomegranates, I would, but I don't see any at the grocery store.
Things of the day. So I found this video that is basically an ad for a 1955 car. And there are two cool things about this ad. One, the primary selling point of this car is that it has air conditioning.
And heat.
They
actually call it all-season air conditioning.
Turn the knob to the left, turn the knob to the right. No matter what weather you're driving in, it's going to be great.
That's pretty crazy that, I always thought about that because I know a Model T doesn't have air conditioning or heating or anything. And I always wondered, what were the first cars to have air conditioning? How did it work? What were the first cars to have heat? How did it work? And all that. Because now every car has air conditioning and heat. You pretty much can't get a car without air conditioning and heat.
Yep, well, my Laser didn't have air conditioning, but it was air conditioning ready. It was set up to take air conditioning. It just didn't have it. Because the racer who had the car before me chose not to get air conditioning because he was afraid that it would put too much heat into his delicate system.
Oh.
And my Sunfire currently no longer has air conditioning, but it's also leaking coolant and oil. So
yeah.
But the other cool thing about this is that the character that is selling this car to you is none other than Brer Rabbit.
Brer Rabbit the racist?
Brer Rabbit from the Uncle Remus stories, derived from African-American folktales in the southern United States. Now, you might remember Brer Rabbit from a bunch of stories and picture books, but also from the famous movie entitled The Song of the South.
I always wanted to see Song of the South.
You've never seen it?
I saw parts of it.
Okay.
I never saw the whole thing at once.
Somewhere, my mom has a tape of it, because I remember we bought it and we watched it, and I really liked it as a kid.
It's a good movie, but it is a racist movie, and therefore, Disney has not printed it on DVD or VHS or anything in a long time.
Now, granted, there was a rumor, I don't know if I talked about it on the show, that it was going to come out on DVD eventually.
I saw it. Didn't we see it in Netflix pre-release or something?
There was an Amazon pre-release that you couldn't order. I don't know if that's still there.
I'm going to look for it right now.
It's in our Netflix queue. It's still pending, so it's definitely not out yet.
Yeah, I don't see the Disney movie available on Amazon anywhere. Although I do see The Adventures of Brer Rabbit 2006, which looks like a really crappy direct-to-DVD kids movie that has nothing to do with Song of the South, other than the character of Brer Rabbit.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought this was kind of cool, because I remember growing up as a kid reading little Brer Rabbit stories. I wonder if I still have those books.
I had one of those. I had a Fisher-Price tape recorder, and it would come with a book and a tape, and you could put the tape in and read the book at the same time. And I had a Brer Rabbit one of those.
Nah.
It was pretty good. All right, so there are a lot of forms of entertainment, out there in the world. Vaudeville, sideshow type things that aren't really popular today. I mean, no one really likes to see a hypnotist so much. Hypnotists are sort of like, you might get him to do a bar mitzvah or a small party, but...
God. There was a hypnotist at my high school all-night senior party.
Yeah.
And the guy was probably the second lamest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, all sorts of lame acts out there. And ventriloquism is one of those lame acts. It's like, no one wants to see a ventriloquist. I mean, it's just a joke, like Gabbo.
Gabbo, Gabbo, Gabbo!
Right. It's like, a ventriloquist, great. And why? But the thing is, back in the day, ventriloquists were popular. And with good reason. It was actually funny that people went to see them. It wasn't like there was always ventriloquism and people did it and no one liked it, and people continued to do it just because they wanted to. Ventriloquism can actually be entertaining. And here is a great example of modern ventriloquism that is pretty entertaining. I don't know when this was from, but it must be recently. And it's some event called Tickled Pink that's taking place at Royal Albert Hall, which is sort of like Carnegie Hall in the UK, or Albion. And this girl, she's pretty cute, named Nina Conti. She does ventriloquism, and she has this little monkey puppet. And it's pretty funny, because the monkey's all acknowledging that it's just a puppet, and it's pretty dirty. And I laughed a lot when I watched this, even though it's just a ventriloquist.
It's good. It's good. It's definitely funnier than the ventriloquist in the second Phoenix Wright game.
Yeah, the ventriloquist in the second Phoenix Wright game is just stereotypically sad ventriloquist.
Yes. Sad ventriloquist.
And I noticed on YouTube there's a bunch of other links to videos with this girl. I might watch some of them. Maybe she tells different jokes.
So, April Fool's Day. It's here, and every year, it seems, for pretty much as long as I have known that there was a site called Slashdot, there's always this pseudo-controversy about April Fool's Day. I mean, every year, Slashdot has the same tradition. All day, from midnight until midnight, every single story on Slashdot will be ludicrously false.
Yes, and it's sort of like it's not funny because you read it and they're not fooling you. You know that the stories are fake. And you're kind of pissed because what if real news happens today? You got to go to a different site to find it because you're not going to find it here.
Now, it's not an issue anymore because now we have Google News and Dig and all that. But imagine a time before Dig and you wanted to know, like say we were doing the show, I don't know, 4 years ago, and we needed tech news and it was April 1st. What the fuck are we going to do?
We can go to CNET, ZDNet, or Slashdot.
Yeah, and Slashdot is basically broken for 24 hours. Granted, I usually think they're not really funny in the April Fool's way, but they're always funny in this Onion kind of way.
I don't know. The thing is, the Onion is actually clever and witty, whereas the Slashdot is sort of ham-fisted and corny.
Well, the thing is, it's not always ham-fisted and corny, because usually they're drawing from what other people have done and linking to it.
Sometimes, but sometimes not. A lot of them are just people on April Fool's Day go to Slashdot, because Slashdot is all user-submitted stories. So people submit, stuff, and then I guess the editors at Slashdot pick which ones are worthy of being posted on April Fool's Day.
But the thing is, all those things are usually jokes that other people had on their sites. There are no original jokes on Slashdot other than this year. I guess they've done things before, but I never noticed. But this year, due to mostly the rivalry between Dig and Slashdot, Slashdot added Dig Dot, which is very much...
Well, they added a /dot it to the side there, which, like, Rim said, last night, Rim said, Slashdot put their April Fools up, and I'm like, they put digs there, didn't they? And Rim's like, yeah, they did. I didn't have to look at the site, and I knew what they had done already.
Now, however, when you click on it, the text that is given is probably the best indicator of the different philosophies in content between Dig and Slashdot. Your vote in the Slashdot system will help ensure the best stories are presented to our readers with hyper-accurate numbers to indicate their relevance, and general awesomeness. Only by requiring the contribution of every random user of the internet can we guarantee the most scientifically perfect numbers will be generated.
Yep, that describes Dig pretty well.
Vote early, vote often. Now, luckily, Dig, you can't vote often unless you're a gigantic tool and you put a lot more effort into it than any human being would. Yeah. Which you think wouldn't be an issue, yet I bury... Usually, if I see a story that's dug up stupidly and I look at who dug it, I'll find that there are a lot of accounts who seem to exist solely to dig stories from spam sites. And I'll usually spend about 10 minutes systematically burying everything those users have ever posted and everything any friend of theirs has ever posted.
Yeah, that's why you got mistaken for the Berry Brigade.
Because I am a member of the Berry Brigade. I very dedicatedly bury things on Dig. I probably bury 10 stories for every story I dig.
Yeah. You should bury all the April Fool's Day fake stories because you only want real stories.
No, because I don't really care. I actually kind of enjoy the April Fool's Day stories. The thing is about Slashdot, that's not the story. It doesn't matter that Slashdot does this. Every website does something, except Geeknights because we're above the fray. Mm-hmm. But on Slashdot, every year, it's like people don't see it coming, and they don't remember that it happened the previous year. So the first story goes up, and there's always a bunch of comments of people reacting in shock as to the news, like, oh, the DMCA was repealed, OMG, this is the best news ever, blah, blah, blah. And then finally someone, wait a minute, oh, wow, those morons fell for it, happy April Fool's Day. And then, in every single thread for the rest of the day, it'll be half the people talking about how funny the joke is or playing along with the joke, and half the people bitching about how Slashdot is useless and how these stories aren't funny. And they put more effort into bitching that they could have just not read Slashdot for a day. Yeah.
Actually, there was one really good April Fool's Day last year, Board Game Geek. They actually got me. I was totally punned. You went to the site, and it sort of logged you in as an administrator, or it looked like it, and you had all these controls there, and you were like, they broke the site, and I'm logged in as administrator. So I went to the board. I sent them an email like, hey, your site's broken. You should fix that. And then I went back and I was like, don't, because it was so convincing. It was actually fooling you. It wasn't, some ham-fisted thing. It looked like the administrator login page in every single possible way.
Fark did that actually almost the exact same way, except the admin page they gave you looked like a straight-up admin page. Like you could just bury things or blah, 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 and had all these secret options. But if you looked at it for more than a few seconds, you realized that, one, it had total Fark and Ultra Fark stuff. And everyone knows that Ultra Fark doesn't exist because anyone who knows about it and talks about it is summarily executed. And two, you started noticing that a lot of the options didn't really make sense at all.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I was too good, and I didn't actually bother to try to use the administrator interface. If I did, I would have gotten the haha message.
The thing is, the Fark one, if you didn't notice all the dummy entries and you tried to use it, you thought it was working for a while because it wasn't easy to tell immediately if it worked.
Yeah, I think the thing is, a lot of people, it's April Fool's Day, so people just do something wacky instead of actually fooling anyone. And the wacky stuff that's so forced and non-subtle, it just doesn't do it for me.
See, I don't like the April Fool part in the media. Because I don't like the media to lie to me one day out of the year. I mean, what if the next 9/11 in Hiroshima happened today? No matter who told me, I would have said, what? Yeah, right. What? Yeah, right. And it would have taken me a while to realize that, wait a minute.
Yeah, I definitely agree that, the news shouldn't be doing fake stuff. The news it's not that important that everyone should just be silly for everything, the news is more important than April Fool's Day. It's not a big deal.
The only kind of foolings I like are the things like if Scientific American on their April 1st issue happen to have an entirely fake thing about an entirely fake thing. Like the old spaghetti tree harvests.
See, fake things like that are okay. The thing for me is that when they're so obviously fake, it's just not funny.
But people fell for the spaghetti tree one. A lot of people.
I might have fell for it back in the day as well. I don't know. But, I'm not saying...
Are you saying seriously that if someone showed you a documentary talking about the spaghetti trees of Italy and showed video in black and white of people from like the 1940s harvesting their spaghetti by hand before they came up with modern equipment and had this whole... You would have believed it.
It depends on a couple things. It depends what year it is. It depends how old I am, because I did not know how spaghetti was made until I was maybe 8. So if I was 7 and you showed it to me, I'd be like, oh, that's where the spaghetti comes from. But now that I know spaghetti is basically wheat put in a pasta maker, so you're not going to fool me with your spaghetti tree.
But very much more than the fooling, because fooling's easy to do. The more credulous your story is, or the more subtle it is, it gets to the point where if you make it so subtle that it's this brilliant play and you'll fool everyone, you fooled everyone. And now, no one realizes they were fooled, and the thing you fooled them on is something they'll never even realize they were wrong ever.
That is the essential problem with April Fools on the internet, is because April Fools in real life, you can go around being subtle and fooling people, but then, because you're right there, you can go, April Fools, bitch, yeah! But on the internet, that's really hard to do, because... where are you going to put that? Are you going to post it later? They might not see it. Are you going to post it in the same article? Then they might see that before they get fooled. What can you do?
You lose all the satisfaction of getting someone.
Yeah, you don't get to see their reaction of going, oh, I got fooled.
I mean, plus, if you're subtle enough, it doesn't become funny anymore. Because I got Scott this morning with probably the lamest April Fool ever.
It was pretty lame.
Mostly as a proof of concept. All I did was convince him that we'd left the charcoal from when we grilled outside.
Which was absolutely believable because we grilled last night and I didn't bring the charcoal back in.
And that it had rained and made a big mess and ruined the deck and all this stuff. Which was
believable because there was a slight chance of rain on the weather.
Yeah, it was a perfectly believable April Fool. And I got no satisfaction out of it whatsoever. I should have come in and said, Scott, your mom just died. But then he wouldn't have believed me.
No, I would have been like, oh, right, it's April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm much more a fan of nowadays of the April Fool's Day prank, where I'm basically, and this is actually,
snakes.
This is how I did it all through high school too. I didn't try to fool people. What I always did is I pulled pranks. Because if you fall for a prank on any given day, it's no big deal. You fell for a prank. It's hard to not fall for a prank unless you see it coming or the people doing it are idiots. But on April Fool's Day, everyone's guard's a little bit up. So if you can get someone on April Fool's Day with a well-constructed prank, you, sir, are a god among men.
Yeah, there's just something about it. Like, you know, when someone says, I'm going to prank you, and then you're on the lookout and they still get you. It's like, imagine if everyone was on high alert and you still managed to totally own someone. It's like double power. It's almost not worth it to prank someone on any other day because it's only normal prank power. When the same exact effort could have gone into that same prank on April 1st and gotten you 10 times the reward.
I had a friend in high school, and one thing that he did is he had this all day. He came up to this other friend of mine, and he said, I'm going to get you today. And it was April Fool's Day. It's April Fool's Day. And all day, he kept reminding the guy that it was April Fool's Day and that he was going to get him.
Wow. Did he get him?
No, he didn't do anything. But he didn't even try.
Oh.
And that kid, Jordan Jones, was probably the most paranoid fucker I've seen in my entire life. Like, every time he saw the guy, he'd be like, and he walked slow. Every time we went to his locker, he'd look at it to make sure there wasn't like Vaseline on it. He'd open it real carefully. He'd like open it. He'd stand back.
In a way, that's the April Fool's. It's I'm gonna get you. Just kidding, April Fool's.
See, I was disappointed though because if he had been paranoid all day
and he had been gotten, that would have been the sweetest cheesecake ever.
Like the best thing in the world would have been if he came home at night and he gets in bed. And then suddenly he feels something. He turns around, and Nathan's laying there next to him. He's like, ah! I don't know how that could have happened, but...
Yeah, April Fool's Day is generally sort of like, you know, sometimes we be playing a game, and it's like, all right, this turn, it's +1 to gold, and this turn, it's +1 to settlers. Well, April Fool's Day is basically +10 to practical jokes all day.
Actually, I'd say it's -5 to practical jokes because it's harder to pull them off.
Well, no, it's +10 to your reward if you manage to pull them off. But at the same time, unsubtle, corny, ham-fisted things are just annoying. Don't even bother.
Hey, Scott, there's a spider on you. Ha ha! April Fools! Made you look, made you look.
Yeah, like, for example, Google did something last year also, but this year, they did, I looked at it for like 5 seconds because it wasn't funny. But they were basically like, hey, if you want Google's new awesome internet service provider, just take this thing and tie it to a fiber optic cable and flush it down the toilet. And then our Google guys will find your wire, pick it up and plug it in, and then attach this wireless adapter to the other end on top of your toilet and get super fast internet connection in your house. And it's like, all right, you obviously made a page for April Fool's Day, and it's not funny.
Then again... I've known some people who would probably have fallen for that, and I'm dead serious.
Oh, yeah, but those people are just dumb.
Yeah. The thing is, that's the other thing. Getting a dumb person isn't funny at all. You don't get any satisfaction out of that. You gotta get someone smart. The smarter person, the more prepared person, the better the payoff.
Yes, if someone is dumb, they probably don't even remember that it's April Fool's Day. They probably couldn't tell you which day April Fool's Day was. They wouldn't have the ability to even consider a prank. They might even be so dumb that if you successfully prank them, they'd be like, what? Like, you'd open a can of snakes and they'd be like, huh? Snakes? What? What the hell? And you'd be like, what? I just got you with the snakes and it didn't do anything. You gotta get only a smart person to go, snakes! Plus, a smart person will also gain humor from it, even if they are harmed in the course of the prank.
Well, it depends on how hard.
A stupid person might just be all indignant and make it not fun anymore.
I mean, you can't prank someone with a tire iron. That moves a little bit beyond prank.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I popped all the tires on your car. Lol.
Your mom's dead. I killed her.
For real.
For real, Jew.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry if that was a kind of rambly show, you see, since Scott totally copped out on Geeknights. I had nothing.
At least we didn't do something that was unfunny and lame, or no one wants to listen to it, or anything dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how bad this could have been. Next year, maybe we'll do something in the line of what we did at Anime Club.
That might be difficult to pull off because we had a captive audience, a projector, a lot of time to prepare, and absolutely, well, I guess now actually there's far fewer consequences because we were threatened with death a couple times after that April Fool's showing.
That's true. That is true.
But since we had a bunch of people, well, we had 2 people over the weekend, and I got work tomorrow.
I actually got a lot done this weekend.
I didn't really. I tried to get my car fixed.
I got a haircut. I bought a laundry basket. I did my laundry.
I got up early, went to get an oil change.
Of course, I did the laundry before I got the new laundry basket. Genius me.
Couldn't get the oil change because, I got the oil change because it just took forever. And then I go to the mechanic and the guy's like, I don't do that kind of work on these days. You got to come back tomorrow. Can you leave your car overnight? And I'm like, I got to go to work, dude. What kind of hours do you think people can
the
have?
The mechanic goes April Fool's and you. He's like, no, I'll do the work. Oh, you left already. Shit.
But yeah, I'm going to bed. Though, expect tomorrow, because we've got probably our first legitimate hate mail, and it occurred in another show that a lot of you listened to.
Well, aren't we going to talk about that on Wednesday?
Yeah, but I'm going to play a bit from it tomorrow because it's relevant. We're going to talk about it on Wednesday, but I got to play it. I'm just too lazy tonight to play it.
All right.
All right. Fuck it. All right, I can cut stuff out of there. We did this way too late. We got to start earlier next time.
Yeah, we started the show at 10. What's it, 11 now? Fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's because Katsu was here and we played board games.
Yeah, stupid board games.
Yeah, well, Alex isn't going to come over for a few days. We got no Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, I wonder when that DVD's going to come.
Well, they said it's going to come tomorrow, but I wonder if it's going to be scratched. What if it's scratched? The last DVD, it's probably going to be scratched in like the last episode.
Whatever.
Yeah, we got to take care of that forum bullshit.
Yeah, I'll go post as Hungry Joe tonight.
You want to be Hungry Joe?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I hate being Steve, but HMT Gay Steve is probably my best bet again.
Probably.
Yeah. We could post as Ken Jura, but he's already...
That's fine.
We got Alex on that.
Whatever. I don't really care. I'm just going to go do what I got to do and go to bed.
All right, how's this? I'll start a flame war about the hostage thing in Iran.
Okay.
I'll either start a new thread or I'll put it in some other thread. I'll pick an unrelated thread, wait for someone to say the word Iran, and just go with it.
Sounds good. I think there might be one actually already.
Oh, great.
This battery's almost dead. It's been going all day. And it's still going.
How long does that thing last anyway?
A long fucking time. It's got an hour and a half left.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com, where you'll find show notes, links, our awesome forum, a link to our Frapper map, and links to all the RSS feeds.
We say feeds plural because Geeknights airs 4 nights a week, covering 4 different brands of geekery. Mondays are science and technology. Tuesdays, we have video games, board games, and RPGs. Wednesdays are anime, manga, comic nights. And Thursdays are the catch-alls for various rants and tomfoolery.
You can send us feedback by email to geeknights@frontrowcrew.com. Or you can send audio feedback via Audio. Just click the link that says Send Me an Audio on the right side of our website.
If you like what you hear, you can catch the last 100 episodes in iTunes or in your favorite podcatcher. For the complete archives, visit the website, which has everything.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 2.5 license. This means you can do whatever you want with it as long as you give us credit, don't make money, and share it in kind. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.